Hey everybody, just wanted to do a vinyl haul update thing. Yeah, just showing off a bunch of the junk I've gotten recently. It's also wicked nice out, so I wanted to do like a special video outside, and I think I want to do so in the future, but for some reason, some random person's mowing their lawn this late, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I hope everything's nice where you are, and yes. So let's feed those magpie tendencies to see what people got, and I'll show you. We'll start with something I got today. I actually just posted this on Twitter, but I'm very excited about it. I finally got the Waxtrax Documentary in Industrial Accident, the story of Waxtrax Records. Yeah, I haven't watched this yet, so I have no idea. I know they were working on this for quite a few years because I can't think of the book I was reading. It might have been Assimilate, or it might have been Microbionic, where it talked about, as of writing the book, they were in progress working on the documentary. But I'm hoping it'll be good. You know, Waxtrax, to get all your artists, you know, Ministry, Front 242, it had some Throb and Gristle on it, Thrill Kill Cult, Frontline Assembly, KMFDM, you know, this iconic Waxtrax logo. Got the hype sticker, includes bonus 75 minutes. Running time is 94 minutes. I thought it was a little bit longer than that. Cast includes Steve Albini, Paul Barker, Jello, Chris Carter, which is awesome. I love Chris Carter. The most underrated dude in all of industrial. Oh, Cozy Fan 2 is in here too. Dave Brawl. Okay. Sasha. Yeah. All kinds of cool cats. I mean, obviously, for a documentary like this. And I hope soon the Swans documentary comes out as well. That'll be wicked exciting. But yeah, I'll probably watch this tonight. And I'll probably make a video discussing about it. I also want to do a video discussing industrial soundtracks for the Urban Decay, like the OG industrial documentary. Although I guess the OG industrial documentary is probably like Synth Britannia, which is a great documentary. You can't go wrong with BBC documentaries. Yeah, so I guess let's start with, let's start out the vinyl I got. I got this a while ago, and I'm still gonna probably show it in another video. Save this for a special video I have coming up, but I do want to show it off. This is Venetian Snares, Songs About My Cat. Or Venetian Snares, or V Snares. I say Venetian Snares. I don't know. This is one of my favorite albums by him. I think my favorite is Winter in the Belly of a Snake, but it's hard to choose. There's the cover. So if you don't know Venetian Snares, very famous breakcore artist, IDM, just really crazy intense stuff. It really has a sound of its own. I don't even know how to describe like breakcore. It's probably the worst description ever, but take like IDM meets like gabber and like hard techno, maybe some industrial sounds. Yeah. That's probably awful. But this track is great. Unfortunately, this is the only vinyl edition that came out on Planet Mu, and it doesn't have all like the little interludes of like cat sounds and cat samples, sadly, but this is the only way you can get it on vinyl, and I'm pretty happy about it. I also wish it had like its own actual cover, just like the cat face, like this picture right here is the actual like cover, but instead of just a sticker. But you know, I'm just complaining over nothing. But this is a great one, and I think this is a good album to get into him too. Even though this came out in '01, it just still sounds amazing and fresh even today. Yeah. What else to say? Venetian Snares, Songs About My Cat. Awesome stuff. Plus, he's a Canadian artist, so if you're like looking to fulfill a need for more Canadian art, there you go. So, alright. So I'll talk about that record in a bit, because I actually got 2 Grails recently, or White Whale, whatever you want to call them. In the record community, people talk about like albums they've been searching for like a very long time. They like never sell on Discogs. They're really rare. Some of them are wicked expensive, and some people call it like their White Whale or the Holy Grail. I have quite a few. My want list on Discogs is pretty big. I think there's a ladybug on me. But 2 albums I really love that I've been looking for came up recently, like on the same day, which was insane. Yeah, actually, I'll just talk about that now. I don't know why I put that aside. So, the first one, and I've never seen this version of it sold on Discogs. Very rare it comes up, but this is Walter Mitty and his Makeshift Orchestra. This album, or EP, is called Overwhelmed and Underdressed. I actually don't know if this is an album or an EP. It's only 16 minutes long, but this is really fantastic stuff. And this version said it had never been sold on Discogs before, so this came out very limited run on like multiple colored records, and someone was selling the red one. It is a 10-inch. I like the little hand-drawn alligator, very cute. Fits the aesthetic of the music. It's like, actually it's like red and like a little black swirl to it, but it's wicked cool. This came out on Lauren Records. Let me show you their cool little logo of like shark shooting a gun. So what does it sound like? This is classic like bedroom folk, like folkish, punkish stuff. I just really love it. Like, his voice is great. It's very minimalist like folk. It's really just like him jamming out, hitting his guitar, minor cymbals, drums, some tambourine. It's just, the writing is very realistic. Like, he's just talking about depression, but it's really realistic standpoint of it, and just struggling through college. I mean, all like, you know, that millennial yuppie kid, good stuff. He even says that like in his lyrics, but you know, it's really relatable. It's really enjoyable. It's only 60 minutes, so if you love any kind of like bedroom folk stuff, I would check it out. I mean, it's great. Doesn't that cover remind you of 12-ounce mouse? I know it does for me. Yeah, he's very talented. I want all of his albums. Little insert. I was so happy that this like came up. It's a little colored in alligator. My favorite song in here is probably Community College. I mean, the opening's great. Let's Get Breakfast is great. It's all so good. Community College is great. I mean, just listen to that one. You'll get an idea of like his sounds. Yeah, Walter Mitty's Makeshift Orchestra, Overwhelmed and Underdressed. So happy to find this. And switching from vinyl really quick to talk about another Grail that I had never seen sold on Discogs. I think it says it has been, but it's been like years. And someone was selling it brand new too. I can't believe it. This is in Korean, so I don't know how to pronounce this. All I know is it's like 2012 something. That's the cover. Here is the Korean. Unfortunately, I only study Japanese, not Korean, but maybe in the future. There's the back cover. So, I think it's like pronounced like moo moo shoo moo. I don't know. It's like it's really long. 2012. I don't know. I'll link it. I'll link the Discogs below so you can check it out. But this is some fantastic Korean freak folk, which is a combination you probably thought you'd never hear, but yeah. This is wicked great stuff. This is in like some of my top albums ever, like non-industrial albums, because I'm a weirdo that has lists for like, well, what's your favorite album? Well, it's like, are we talking like electronic, industrial, or just like normal albums? But I'm a big fan of freak folk. I always suggest this to people who love Sung Tongs by Animal Collective, or if you just like Animal Collective in general, or freak folk. You gotta check this out. I know they had a video of the opening track on here that kind of went viral, but it was more like a negative thing. People were kind of making fun of it because they do scream a lot, like you do in freak folk, so like their voice is an instrument in the music. And I think some people are sharing it as like, oh, look how terrible music is these days, but a lot of people like commenting or watching are like, no, this is great. And it is. This is just 2 girls. They're on makeshift instruments. They have a guitar. They have some traditional Korean like instruments and drums. Lots of, like I said, freak folk screaming. The voice is the instrument. Really fun, super high energy. They both have great voices. They got kind of like that nice, more deeper, huskier female voice that just sounds really pretty. They harmonize well. It's great. And it doesn't like go like too pretty. Like some, I don't know. I know for me, when like this sometimes this female vocals, I feel like it gets like a little too ethereal, too much, too pretty. It's like, yeah, this is nice, but it's kind of I don't know, it's a bit much. No, not this. This is fun, playful, freak folk, great, avant-garde. I don't know, it's awesome. Check out the CD on the inside. I think that's like makeup and fish scales on the CD. There's them. There's a lot of great like little photos in here. Very get an idea of what they're about. I read like what they've talked about English, like it translated in English, and they said this album it was basically just them. A really nice summer they spent together having fun. They aren't together anymore, which is such a shame because this is such a fantastic album and I would love more for them. And I wish somehow this could get like put onto vinyl. I really do, but probably never will. But it is on CD, a rare one at that, and I was happy to get it on Discogs. It was cheap too, for something coming all the way from South Korea. But yeah, that it is. 2012. That's what I know it is. Alright, so those are my 2 Grails I got in the mail. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? So I've been trying to like listen to all that new stuff I got from Record Store Day. I just wanted to like quickly mention this Roy Garrett Hot Rod from Hell album that I was really excited to listen to, which was another great entry of Dark Entries, which it is. It was a bit different than I thought. This isn't like a standard like electronic porn soundtrack. This is like some crazy dark spoken word, like poetry. Like it's like, I don't know. This is like totally like spoken word written poetry about some like homosexual murder attacking people and just like really crazy stuff. And it sounds good. There's some crazy soundscapes to it, but yeah, I'd like to do some more research again and like see more stuff by this person. But this is great. Yeah, Roy Garrett's Hot Rod from Hell. Not what I was expecting, but it was amazing. It was really good. So I'm definitely enjoying that. I'm a big fan of like spoken word type stuff. I mean, that's why I always have like weird stuff like William Burroughs records playing. I just really like it. I mean, I'm into spoken word myself. It's just awesome. It like he rhymes too. Like it's like rhyming poetry like every other line. It's really great. The way, and none of them are like ever forced. Like hearing him, like how is he gonna rhyme with that while I'm like listening to this while I'm working? It is like, oh no, that was really witty. That was well written. All right. So, not a Grail, but I finally am owning a CD that is possibly like my favorite non-industrial electronic album of all time. Although some people consider this industrial rockish. I guess if somebody asked me what my favorite album of all time is, which is such a silly, ridiculous question and very hard to answer, I feel like this album would pop into my head, and it's definitely an answer I'd probably give to someone who doesn't know too much about the kind of stuff I listen to. But I love this album. So influential on my taste. It's a 10/10 for me. Every single song is amazing. I still get goosebumps listening to it. And I think everyone should check it out. This is Vass's Visual Audio Sensory Theater. Classic album. I'm sure like half of you like, oh yeah, this is a classic. Some of you are like, what is that? But I assure you, if you heard some of the songs off here, you'd recognize it. The popular tracks like Touched, Pretty When You Cry, which has a very famous music video. Let's see, probably I'm Dying, yeah. But yeah, this is a project by John Crosby, this really spiritual dude from Texas. I mean, this is great. This is like the 90s personified. That's what I always think. This is like industrial rock, just like new age, like vocal samples, new age type sampling. It's just crazy. This is on Elektra Entertainment. Here's the back. Yeah, I love this album so much. It is so good. This came out in 1998, and it just still sounds so amazing. This is where I learned about like the Bulgarian woman that I showed in another video. Like he samples all of that. Like it's definitely like new age sounding. Like all his sampling is great. Yeah, I got this for wicked cheap, only like $3, which is great. I love to have the vinyl of this. There's the cover. Again, very cool. Surreal art, and Vass, like I said, stands for Visual Audio Sensory Theater. He has a lot of albums that are very like folk rockish. They're all really great. I don't think he's made something quite as hard as this, although Nude is a very great album too, but his stuff is worth checking out, all of it. It's just really great. I love this album. I can't say that enough. God, if I had to pick a song, like, you should probably listen to Dirty Hole. Dirty Hole is probably my favorite song on here, next to The Nile's Edge. But it's so great. The opening here, oh, it just grabs you with that guitar coming in and that, like, I don't even know, fucking electronic sounds coming in. So good. Every song's great. Touch is amazing. Pretty When You Cry. I'm Dying. Flames. I don't know. Still jamming out to this in the car right now. So I can't show you the CD because it's, you know, in the vehicle. But there's behind the CD tray. Yeah, pick this up. Check this out. Definitely, I don't know, one of the best albums of the 90s. One of the best albums of all time. One of my favorite ever. Vass. So good. Alright. That's enough gushing of that. I got like 3 other things to show you, some books. I got this recently, and I'm gonna start subscribing to this Patreon so I could start getting more issues of it. This is a physical copy of Private Suites. If you don't know what Private Suite is, this is a really, really amazingly well-made Vaporwave zine. And this is the Mallsoft edition. You know, Vaporwave, Future Funk, all that stuff. Like, it's like a real magazine, like a real zine. They have it online for free, and I didn't even know they were putting out physical copies until recently. I like how it says thick boy right there. Grafton Tanner's Babbling Corpse, Flapping Glimmer, How to Dress Aesthetic. That actually made me audibly laugh when I read that. Album reviews, fiction, and art. Speaking of, I actually want to read Babbling Corpse, a book all about Vaporwave. Like, look at this. And like, it feels nice, dude. This is not cheaply made. Like, this is great. I mean, I'll admit, I like Future Funk a lot, but I'm really not like a huge Vaporwave fan in general, a lot of it, but I want to support this, and I love this, and it's great. And my thing with Vaporwave is I usually check it out, or I check things out, or I'm part of the scene, just because usually people will drop just really good electronic albums. Like, they're not even Vaporwave or Future Funk or anything. They're just really good electronic albums. That's how I found out about the Alice in Wonderland one. And a few other albums. I'm like, this is just really good. Here's the Babbling Corpse discussion. Oh man, it's so creative and awesome. The, like, great photographs, really well made design. Some parts got like this very nice, like, washed out lo-fi aesthetic, which you need because this is, you know, Vaporwave zine. This is issue 6, and they're still going. Please support them on their Patreon. I'll link it below. Really great stuff. If there's 2 Patreons, I say support all the way. It's Puppet Combo. He makes like PS1 aesthetic horror games. He's fantastic, and this. And I'm sorry about that wind chime. But yeah, I want to get more of this. This is great. Great stuff. Very cool. I want to do like a series in depth on zines, so I'll probably do more in depth or like review of it in another video. But there we go. And I got 2 books recently. Well, I'm always getting books, but yeah, just some more books. There's a bunch of like lists of like, you know, disturbing or dark books, so I'm trying to like read them all, even though I'm not really a fan of fiction. But I'll make an exception if it's, you know, edgy and disturbing, because you know me. So this one, I've just started reading it, and it's been really good so far. This is Catherine Dunn's Geek Love. And this came out 83, I want to say. It came out in the 80s. I didn't know anything about this coming in, but reading it and like reading the back and all that, I guess it's about like washed up carnies who don't have like, you know, acts for the carnival. So they basically the mother forces herself into like all kinds of like damaging situations while she's pregnant and lots of drugs, so, like forcefully create like deformed people. And like this basically, this is from the point of view of this woman who like has a huge like hunch, and she's albino as well, and she just like talks about really crazy stuff. It's really good so far. And this one's probably a bit more famous. This also has a movie that's wicked good. This came out in the 90s, I believe. This is Dorothy Allison's Bastard Out of Carolina. This is a semi-autobiographical about, you know, a bastard out of Carolina. And some pretty dark stuff, you know, the unfortunate things that happen to some children. A girl born from a 15-year-old teen mom and out of wedlock, so you can imagine how that goes down for her and in society. So excited to read that, check that out. And I'm happy about my Grails. I'm happy to check out Waxtrax Documentary. So yeah, there's a plane coming overhead, so I'm going to end it. Thank you for watching.